We're going to get started with another episode of Akashic Answers with Emily. You know how it goes. The records are now open. Let's just take a few moments and drop in here together because I'm not the only one doing the work today. I want to invite you into the awareness that you are tapping into your Akashic records as well. Whether you've been trained in your Akashic records, whether you've stumbled into them accidentally before, I want you to know that the intention is that you have a purposeful interaction with your Akashic records today. If this is the first time you are joining me here on Akashic Answers with Emily, welcome. I would love to get to know you more. So say hello in the comments. Let us know where you are tuning in from. And I will do the same. I'm Emily Harrison, founder director here inside the Akashic Academy. And I work with visionaries and thought leaders, training them how to escape the world of ordinary thought and tap into superconscious intelligence. Why do we want to tap into superconscious intelligence? Because this is how we begin to see the patterns of the universe, understanding how the universe works. This is the realm that Nikola Tesla, Steve Jobs, Albert Einstein all tapped into. And of course, you probably know these big names as visionaries who shifted the planet with their ability to understand how the universe works and to innovate technology here on the planet. But I also want to invite you to recognize and remember the ancient truths that the universe is happening inside of you. So understanding the complexity of the universe has to do with you understanding your own patterns first. And that is my intention, sacred intention for us all to experience here today. I don't have it all figured out yet. I know how to get it all figured out. I know what I need to do. Does that mean that I always do it? That I always have the discipline to meditate every day, to eat the right foods? Most of the time, but not to perfection yet. I don't see all of my patterns always instantly as they're working, but I know that there's something off when I'm out of alignment and I have a pattern that's playing out that's not serving me. And I know what to do to take the right steps to slow down my mind and my field and my reactions so that I can examine and understand how it is that I'm working. And once I recognize what's working on the subconscious in my own field, I then have the ability to make shifts and changes and to heal that energy. Can I get an aho up in here? If you're ready to work on that level today. Hello, Joe. Hello, Ray. Hello, Madison. Hello, Jan, Mama in the house. Diana, I see you. Bitha, I see you. Thank you for being here. All of my Instagrammers and YouTubers and Facebookers. And let's see, where else are we broadcasting? Did I get them all? Oh, yes, LinkedIn. Hello to all of you. And thank you all for being here. Let's dive in. All right. I want you to start lighting up the chat box right now with questions. Where are you challenged in life? And I will tap into the records. You're tapping into the records too, though. So notice what drops into your awareness. Notice what thoughts drop into your awareness. And receive those as your innate communicating with you. And we may get different things. By the way, the goal isn't for us all to have the same thought. If we can all actually have original thought that's from many different perspectives, we will illuminate healing and shift and innovation on the planet so much faster. So even if what I channel through today doesn't match exactly what comes through your mind, that's okay. It's about creating a space where we can all access these different thoughts of the higher mind. Hi, Brian Cable. I see you. Hi, Christopher. I see you. Joe Fox, have I ever considered doing a book? Yes, I have. It's been in the works for quite some time. And all of the pieces are ready to be compiled. We'll see how soon that ends up making its way to the physical realm. But thank you for that. Maybe I'll hold space for that today, that book gets to be birthed through. All right. So as you are sending your questions into, thank you, Joe, for looking forward to that, into the comments, let me share a little bit with you about the Akashic Records and what to expect here today. because I'm not just going to be channeling in from the records. You're not just going to be channeling in from the records. There's also transmission or activation that is available for us as we do this work. And the more of us that come together to do this work, the stronger the activations become. So I will encourage you to share this broadcast out. Again, the more of us that are coming together to do this work, the stronger the activations become. And the activation means that we're not just going to talk about and cognitively create vocabulary around the answers, but we're inviting that shift at a cellular level so we can begin to operate differently. The records hold all information from a soul perspective. That means a neutral perspective. That means a perspective of unconditional love and zero judgment. And when I say all information, y'all, I mean all of it, forward and backward through time. I mean, not only this plane of existence, but other planes of existence, other dimensional realities, other galaxies, other universes. And while that stuff is all good and fun and exciting to work with, we got work to do right here in our own microcosm with areas of our life where we are still creating lack, where we are still creating scarcity, where we still don't admit that we were wrong and that we need to course correct. I've got amazing downloads coming in today around course correction and the lost art of being able to shift in our lives. Whew, we need that. All right, so that's what the Akashic Records are. You are going to be experiencing intelligence flowing in from your records. And I want you to know that the information is cumulative. So the more time you spend watching Akashic Answers with Emily every Wednesday, the more time you spend in this broadcast, the more the light begins to build upon itself, the knowledge begins to build upon itself. It's like building blocks. It makes more and more sense the longer you stay in this space. And for those of you who are ready to learn to read your own Akashic Records, which is a skill that every human has the ability to do. I'm not special in my ability to do it. I've just taken the time to learn how to hone and cultivate this skill. But for those of you who are ready for a deeper dive and want to learn how to read your own records, get ready for the biggest cumulative effect, because you will actually be able to jump timelines, shift timelines, and create at will that which you desire to experience. Because the records not only allow us to download intelligence, wisdom, guidance, and clarity for every aspect of our life, but when you get really good at this, you also can, and I shouldn't say when you get really good at it, because the truth is you're doing it anyway. You are writing your Akashic Records. You are writing your future right now in this moment, whether you're conscious of it or not. It's just through the records, we become more conscious of how we are creating our future, because we understand our patterns and we understand what patterns are causing us to create on accident, what we don't really want to experience. Thank you, Brian Cable. Brian Cable, one of my very first students. So good. Oh, just having flashbacks to that. Was that like 2015, 2016, something like that? Anyway. Okay, so my sister Diana Merkaba Sunshine here, who also reads Akashic Records. And I love it when those of you who are doing this work at such a high level come in and ask questions. Thank you. Because the questions are what really begin to extract the intelligence for us. So Diana, I'm happy you're here. Diana says, what guides do you work with? And what do you recommend to connect with a soul guidance team? Excellent. All right. So the guides that I personally work with, all right, first of all, I work with a lot of them, and I like to work with the masters. So the masters, and I'll drop some names for y'all about what comes in. But before I do that, I want to share that, actually, I'm going to leave your question up there, Diana, so those who are just joining can know what we're answering. I feel the intelligence from the Akash coming in that wants to explain who these guides really are. Because while we have names for them, and you're going to recognize some of the names that I share with you, the bigger truth is, here's how humans work. Remember back from your literature class and what you learned about storytelling and personification. We give human characteristics and attributes to certain avatars. That's personification. So when I talk about Melchizedek, one of my great guides, Melchizedek coming from the lineage of the great magicians and the mystery schools, Merlin, Thoth, Hermes Trismegistus, to name just a few. Yeshua, for that matter, Jesus. Mary, Magdalene, for that matter, was also part of that great lineage of magicians. This name, this term, Melchizedek, is a figure, is a guide, is a great master, and is just a unique aspect of the God personality, the God energy or goddess energy, or the oneness, which is experienced in the higher realms, which doesn't really allow us to understand the uniqueness of the Merlin energy, because it's all one when we're in these higher realms. So we incarnate into a dense planet like planet Earth, where we experience ourselves and each other as the individual aspects of the God personality. And we all take on different unique individual aspects. But see, if we didn't incarnate into a zone of contrast, we wouldn't be able to experience that personification or those characteristics. And when we do incarnate into a place like this, it's really helpful to have common vernacular, common lexicon, so we know what the hell we're talking about to each other. And so we give this personification and we assign it to these avatars and these great masters. And story is a huge part of the human experience. Story and the hero's journey is woven into your DNA. You are the hero of your own journey, your own story. The Akashic Records are a tool that allow you to go from being a victim to being a victor in your own story. I get to play the role of the magician, the who's giving you the secret elixir, the Akashic Records being the secret elixir that allow you to shift the status quo, to change the normal world, and to return back into the normal world, bringing the extraordinary with you. So those are some of my favorite guides to work with, those of the great magician lineage. And I also want to point out that it's all you, it's all God. I think I already pointed that out. That's not really the also. That's just hammering that one home. All right. They're all aspects of you, your higher self. And how do you know what team you're working with? Whatever comes into your imagination. So we will do an activation here on Miss Diana's recommendation for us all to connect to a soul guidance team. And you don't have to know your guides by name, by the way. But what I want to point out, this was the also that I was referring to before, that I feel like is important here in this space. And that is the recognition of great teachers. So teachers are light beings who are lesson specific. You may also work with the Melchizedek lineage, the magician lineage, and they might be coming forward for you today. And I'm getting a yeah now. Yep. To work through a specific challenge in your life. So teachers are light beings who are lesson specific. And they come and go based on whatever you're learning in your life. So let's say Archangel Michael is one of your great light being teachers. He comes when you need to learn about cutting cords of attachment. He comes when you need to remember to protect yourself. He comes when you call on him because you're feeling overwhelmed and you can't do it all yourself. And you're like, dude, I need help. Send in the armies. If that's you, say yes. And Archangel Michael will hear you and send in the armies. And remember, Archangel Michael is just a personification, a collective energy placed on an avatar that carries a certain frequency or certain characteristics. It's all you. It's all the God energy. Is that making sense? Gold Diana says, Akashic alchemist and magician, yet Melchizedek has the chalice to the golden guide, consciousness, peace, and spirituality. I love you too. Yes. All right, so I want everyone to have an experience calling in your sacred guidance, your team. And so let's work with teachers today. Remember, teachers are lesson specific. Thank you, Cami. I see your yes. Tristan, I see your 22. Georgie, I see your yes. Diana, I see your yes. Teachers, remember, are lesson specific. So I want you to think about what is the greatest challenge that you are experiencing in your life right now that if you had help with, whew, that would make all the difference. You had galactic cosmic help. And I want you to take the hands and flip them. Okay, so I've got right hand on bottom, left hand on top. I'm making the connection point with my thumbs. And I want you to use this sacred mudra. I'm holding it low. Hopefully my jeans are zipped. Sometimes they come unzipped a little bit. Right about here in the body, okay? The lower belly, lower dantian. This is holding the cauldron. Create some space in the armpits. Sitting up nice and straight. And I want you to breathe. I'm going to put both feet on the floor. Make that connection with the floor and just breathe. Holding the cauldron, calling in the energy and support that you need for your greatest challenge. And the teachers that are lesson specific to help you will arrive in your field. And it's okay if you know their names, and it's okay if you don't. Name them Phil and Sally if you want. Or you can ask, and maybe it's Magdalene, maybe it's Lao Tzu, maybe it's Mother Teresa, maybe it's Gandhi. Maybe it's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It's another great avatar that I feel close to and work with, bringing freedom to the planet. One more nice deep breath. And now I want you to, in silence, ask this guide or these guides that have come forward to you to reveal to you what is currently unseen about this challenge, meaning where are you creating this challenge out of your patterns of fear or scarcity or anger? But it feels like it's one of those three. Unprocessed anger. And then your job is to see and own where you are creating this challenge for yourself, for you to learn, because truthfully, you are your greatest teacher. You can be your own guide here through this process. All right, send some love, likes, hearts across the screen if that was valuable to you. Miss Diana, thank you so much. We're going to grab another question here. Joe Fox, can the Akashic Records impact manifesting? Oh, yes. So like I shared in the beginning of the broadcast, when you get really good at this work, you can use the Akashic Records to create, open, and jump right into new timelines, which I was working with one of my VIP clients yesterday. We were shifting timelines and calling forward timelines. And the evidence of her being in the timeline that we created yesterday presented itself today. She sent me a message just about half an hour ago, celebrating the heck out of the evidence that has unfolded to confirm that she's in the new timeline. It was really exciting. I got excited and did a little happy dance celebration with her. So yes, the Akashic Records 100% can impact our manifesting. Let me see what the records want to share about helpful tips. Okay, so we all not only have the ability to manifest, but we are manifesting in every single moment. So the first thing the guides want to say, and Joe, thank you for this, because this is awesome right now, in the now moment impact for everyone. And that is to realize the feelings that you are feeling right now are creating your future. So if you've had an aha moment come in since you've been here, That's opening up opportunity. An aha moment is seeing something in a way that you haven't seen it before, or allowing something to land, a realization that you haven't had before. That is opening up of new opportunity. New thought creates new opportunity. And so if you are having new thought right here in this moment, you are manifesting something new to drop in that has that same vibrational frequency of awe. Aha moments usually have a sense of awe attached with them. I get excited about aha moments. And so expect in the future an opportunity for you to drop in that matches the frequency of the awe that you noticed feeling here today. That's badass, isn't it? Can I get some love, likes, hearts across the screen? Can I get some ahos in the comments? Or amens? Or yes? Something to indicate that you are receiving this and inviting more of it into your field. And using this outward expression of aho, aha, amen, yes, is creating either verbal impact or verbal invitation, which remember, God spoke the universe into existence, or the Big Bang, or both. Sound is what levitated the pyramids into place, people. The sound is what begins to create even more of it for you. Okay, and that's what the records want to talk about next, Joe, is in terms of using sound to manifest reality. Notice that your words and what you say and what you speak creates your reality. So choose your words carefully. Think about what it is that you really want to experience. And if what you really want to experience is abundance and prosperity, stop bitching about how broke you are. Another fun trick from the records is learn to ask the right questions, which those of you who have studied the records, which by the way, how many of you out there have trained in your Akashic records? Let me know in the comments. I know Brian Cable has, Deborah Williams, because I've trained both of them. Diana has trained in the records. Terry Todd has trained in her records. Let's see, I'm probably missing some of you. I'm just doing a quick scroll. Jan Harrison is trained in her records. Who else is trained in the records here? If you are trained in the records, you know that the records work by asking questions. Because in the asking of the question, the answer is called forward, because everything is inherently whole and one, even though we're experiencing polarity and we're experiencing contrast down here. The records are our ability to get out of this matrix, this construct, and return to our higher intelligence. But we've got to ask the questions. The records work by what's known as invitation only, meaning we have to ask the questions. And then the intelligence comes in. Now, our brain sort of works like the Akashic records. Our brains have been programmed with a bend towards negativity. So we do have to begin reprogramming our brains back into positivity. I'm working with another one of my VIP clients on that as we speak. We're doing daily exercises to reprogram the brain to begin to see the positive rather than the negative. But the brain works, and you can, once you do enough work on your brain can work as a connector to the Akash, to the superconscious intelligence, and every thought you channel will be of higher frequency, of the highest possibility. But our brains have been so conditioned to see the negative and to have negative responses that we've got some rewiring to do in our brain. But the brain is designed to find the answer to any question that you ask it. So if you are subconsciously asking yourself through frustration, like, why am I so broke at the end of every month, or the middle of every month, or the beginning of every month? Then your brain is your servant and goes right out seeking the answers for that for you, to prove to you why you are so broke every month. So rather than asking why you are so broke, ask, why is it so easy for me to source and resource the abundance that I desire? Why is it so easy for me to magnetize a soulmate relationship? Why is it so easy for me to find a job that serves me and that I can serve the planet that I love? Why is it so easy for me to be vulnerable and to be fully self-expressed in who I am and share myself with people around me? So rather than asking yourself why it's so hard to XYZ, ask yourself why it's so easy. And you will begin to create feedback loops with the universe that allows you to experience that which you desire. Thank you, Joe Fox. Let's do an activation now that will help us increase our ability to manifest on purpose. And the guides are bringing my awareness right now to the idea of purpose. What is our purpose here on the planet? And we could get into a deep discussion around purpose, around mission. Is it just to be happy and to be peaceful? Do we need to leave legacy here on the planet? Are we creating too much hustle for ourselves? I just want to focus on this idea of happiness. It's so important. I love the story of John Lennon. Maybe you know this one. When he was in kindergarten, his teacher gave him an assignment that said, let me see, how did it go? What do you want to be when you grow up? And his response was happy. And I think she gave him an F. She said, I think you misunderstood the assignment. And his response was, I think you're misunderstanding life. And this could just be an urban legend. I mean, John Lennon could have been that wise when he was in kindergarten. Maybe he wasn't in kindergarten. Maybe he was maybe he was in high school by the time he was that smart. But what if, just for the sake of exploration, what if our only job, our only requirement, our only mission, our only purpose here on the planet was to be happy? And I think that you could find a lot of replacements for happy. Maybe it's just to love one another. Maybe it's just to experience ourselves as creators. And you've likely heard me plug in all of those different options. But let's just focus on happiness right now. Lay one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, and I want you to ask in all sincerity, with alignment of mind, heart, and gut, why is it so easy for me to experience happiness? And man, about 10 million things in your field are rearranging right now in this moment. Deeper understanding and gentleness with yourself. More prosperity, more divine guidance, more ability to make powerful decisions that affect shift and change in your life. Why is it so easy for me to experience happiness? We're on a school day today. I should mean snow day. And my daughter keeps coming in and out of my office as I'm in here preaching. Holy crap. She's distracted me, but I love you, Viv. She might be listening at the door. I'm so happy that my kids get to be in this frequency. So as I preach in here today and channel through intelligence for all of us, it creates a vibrational frequency in my home. And they are all teenagers. They might think that I'm absolutely full of shit in here. But what I do know is that they are getting those waves of energy. We all get to be more happy together. Thank you, Joe Fox, for wisdom and guidance around manifesting, around how that works, around that activation to be happy. That felt really good. How many of you got something out of that? If you got something powerful out of that experience or out of that chapter today of talking about manifestation and how that works, let me know what your biggest aha was in the comments. All right, let's see. Deb Duran in here. She definitely studied the Akashic Records. Deb has been one of my VIP clients, deep dive studier, and has amazing skills in all kinds of things. Check out Deb, by the way. The Existential Oracle. You can check out Deb's page. Go follow her. Deb says, when you mind to your intention, you imprint that intention into your intuition. Intuition is your ability to know something instantly. And you allow yourself to see and feel what opportunities or paths will perpetuate that intention. The Akashic Records will amplify this ability. That's what she said. Love you, Deb. Excited to hang with you later this week. All right. Lizanne says, yes, has studied. Oh, yes, the Akashic Records with me in the brilliant resources. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, I want to grab one more question here for today. So scrolling through, if you have a question. Oh, wait, here we go. Bitha, thank you for the question. During my meditations, I have this very short vision, like glimpses that don't seem related to my life. What do I do with them? Great question. All right, so let me tap in here. Okay, so here's what you do with them. Woo, this is good. You ask questions. What do I do with this? What is this? What can I learn from this? Get curious like a 2-year-old. If you ever don't understand something, don't walk away from it with accepting that we don't have full understanding. Start asking questions. Get curious. And open yourself to receive the intelligence, because like we talked about in the previous question, the records work by invitation only. You can only invite forward intelligence. No, take 2. You can only receive intelligence if you've invited it forward. So begin to ask questions. I think that we all have, what I'm hearing now is we all have experiences from our childhood where stop asking so many questions. Or maybe you asked a question and you got a very unsatisfying answer. Mom, why? Blah, 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 blah. Because I said so. Now, my mom never did that. And I'm a mom too. I'm sure I never did that. Because I said so. If you ask and you get unsatisfying answers like because I said so over and over again, eventually you're going to stop asking. So the activation that we'll do here, Bethan, thank you so much. This is awesome. I want you all to call forward your inner child. Just lay the hands on the heart and imagine the younger version of you coming into your frequency and your awareness. And in whatever way is meaningful for you, maybe you surround your inner child with love and light. Maybe a particular color pops into your mind. Maybe you want to ask right now, because we're all tapped into super conscious intelligence here together. What do I need to do to heal my inner child? Let her or him know that it's okay to be curious and bring that curiosity back. Because when you have an excitement and a relationship with curiosity, you'll begin to ask questions again. And as you ask questions, you will get answers. So healing the inner child right now in whatever way your innate is helping you heal. Going back to Diana's original question about what guides I work with, Archangel Raphael was one of my very first guides. I had a visceral experience with this angel when I was about 4 years old, touching my hand, holding my hand. And Archangel Raphael is the great healer. So call forward your great healer, the healer within yourself, or a guide or a being that you work with. Mary Magdalene is a great healer. I just took a training with William Henry last night of Gaia, of Ancient Aliens. He taught on the Magdalenes, Mary, her anointed oils that she used to heal any human malady. So in whatever way you need to heal your inner child right now, just trust that healing is taking place based on your intention. Like Deb said, the intention begins to invite forward the innate intelligence or your intuition, which is your ability to know something instantly. And we're experiencing a magnification of this here in our records. So right now in this moment, just like I said, going back to Joe's comment, when we talked about what you're feeling right now, you're creating in your future, Deb called it for us all. And now we're experiencing it in the future, just moments after she outlined how that worked. And our intention to heal our inner child is calling forward the intuition, the ability to know how to do this instantly, no right or wrong way to do it. And we're experiencing the magnification of that in the records. Oh, and so it is. Yes. Powerful show here today. Y'all, thank y'all for being all up in here. Whew. All right. So I would love to know what felt like a big takeaway for you today. Please share in the comments, light the comments up with what's your favorite takeaway from this experience today? How do you get to move forward and grow and be more intentional with who you are and what you create and how you experience life here on the planet? It's really powerful encouragement for me and for others when you share what the big takeaways were here today. Whew, and I'm just going to try to remember, because I like to make videos and posts as the week goes on about what we experience here today to invite more people to come in, and I freaking forget what they are. So that actually helps me too. When you share what your big takeaways are, I'm like, oh yeah, we did this. Oh yeah, we did this. So let's work from the bottom up. We did inner child healing, curiosity activations. So good. We did manifestation. See how you guys are such a great, the great, I should say, not a great, but you are the great additions to the show. The show doesn't happen without you and what you call forward. Oh yes, Diana talked about our guides. We had an activation to understand and connect with our guides. So good. Yes, Lamora, asking the right questions. Amen, sister. Betha, thank you. That was so healing. Thank you, Betha, for bringing forward that a divine assignment for all of us to learn how to work with our visions more. And it's really about remembering to ask. Sometimes, the guides are saying this too. When we're confused and we don't know something, it triggers that response in us of something that I hit on in a post from earlier today on my timeline, which is around being wrong and saying something wrong in class when the teacher asks a question and then you answer the question and then you get it wrong and you're like totally embarrassed and just like want to crawl in on yourself. And so what happens is we have fight, flight, or freeze. You go into freeze mode if you answer the question wrong and you get humiliated in front of your classmates. So what happens is this pattern begins to be ingrained in us. And so when we don't understand something, we tend to freeze and walk away from it rather than just getting curious and beginning to ask questions. So Betha, thank you for that awesome opportunity to examine where that pattern might have come from in each of us and begin to shift and heal it. Because as we get curious and we ask the right questions, we're going to uncover all of the knowledge we need to heal ourselves and the planet. Diana, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you for all of these beautiful ahas. Ellen, what a beautiful picture of you, by the way. I love it. Sometimes in meditation or in falling asleep, I see what looks like scrolls appearing in my vision. Oh yeah. Yep. Those, I would say that's the Akashic Records. And in order to access them more, it's all about the questions you ask. I actually have a free resource. It's called the Akashic Scrolls. And what it is, it's a helpful question guide of how you can begin to ask questions in the right way that's going to call forward the knowledge from the Akashic Records. So as you ask the right questions, the scrolls of knowledge begin to reveal themselves to you. But the key the lock and key to getting that information is asking the right questions. If you want access to that, by the way, please just type the Akashic Scrolls or scrolls into the comments, and my team and I will circle back to you and make sure that you get that resource. Also want to invite you all, Ray says, I'm learning to reframe things as I'm curious to see what this will bring. Yes. Whew, we're so powerful when we remember our power. All right. So yes, curiosity. That's a big one in here. Trent, thank you for allowing that to land for you. Madison says, aha, and remembrance that I can tap into that frequency of love and peace and happiness at any moment. Yes. Wayne Dyer quotes A Course in Miracles and says, at any moment, remember, I can choose peace rather than this. In this moment, I want you to think about a part of your life or a challenge that you have, something that comes up that just triggers you. And tell yourself, I can choose peace rather than this. Take your power back. Yes. And as always on Wednesdays, I want you all to have a custom engraved invitation from me to join my sacred private community, the Ether, which, by the way, Akash is a Sanskrit word that means ether. Ether is primordial energy. If you want to develop your relationship with the ether and learn to program yourself to stay in a higher frequency of miracle consciousness, the ether, the monthly membership community, is $22.22 per month. It's a very inexpensive investment, and you will receive the support inside of that group that will allow you to unplug from the conditioning that we experience in the matrix and plug into your divine higher self and begin to hold the frequency of miracle consciousness. You will be happier. You will create faster. It's pretty intelligent community. I love this space. So if you want to know more about the ether, just type the ether in the comments and we'll circle back with you. You can also go to the Akashic Academy, the website, and find the ether. You can also find it on my Linktree if you're joining on Instagram, or I think there's even a link to Linktree in the bio and Facebook. But we will make sure that you get what you need if you type it in the comments. So ether, if you want to know more about the private membership community that will allow you to hold a higher frequency of consciousness, to unplug from the imprisonment and the distortion of daily life and tap into higher intelligence. And scrolls, or Akashic Scrolls, if you want to know more about how to ask the right questions to your Akashic Records, you can type them both in the comments. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. There's a lot shifting and changing in our world today, and we all need this level of precious community and support. It's my great honor to serve in this way. I love you all, and I'll see you back here again next week.